He moved silently, no breath, no sound, just precision. He struck Nova from behind, and she fell hard, shield shorting. Creamy screamed and unleashed everything. The sky ripped open with the explosion of power. Time slowed. Even the silencer faltered, caught in Creamy's full glow. He wasn't just defending anymore. He was rising for himself, for his friends, for the child had been thrown away. When the light cleared, Black was unconscious. The silencer gone, retreated, vanished. No one could tell, but the vault door now stood unguarded. Inside, the temperature dropped. Hollow echoing halls whispered with ghost code and fading memory. They reached the central server. Creamy plugged in the chip. 1,000 names flashed before him. Series, Nova read. There were dozens. Not just you, Bassline said, breathless. You weren't alone. Creamy leaned in and froze. There on the file, Subject C1, Creamy, Primary Alpha, first of his kind. He stepped back. I'm not just part of something. I'm where it started. Nova looked at him with awe. Then you decide where it ends. The room buzzed with silence, not a quiet silence, a loaded one, humming with every suppressed scream Creamy had swallowed since the moment he learned he was never meant to be loved. Dozens of files glowed on the vault's projector walls, faces, names, subjects, children, some corrupted, some erased. Creamy's chest tightened. They weren't just experimenting with power, they were building weapons. Nova stepped beside him. And you were the prototype they couldn't control. No, Creamy whispered, fists trembling. I was the one who chose not to become one. He pulled the data core from the server, pocketing it like a burning truth. We have to shut this place down. Bassline turned. We can't just delete it. This is evidence for all the others who never got to ask why. Creamy nodded. Then we broadcast it. Nova's eyes widened. The whole city? Everyone, Creamy said. They need to know who's been pulling the strings, not just for me, for them. They got to work. Flicker rerouted abandoned signal towers. Glint re-energized the station's mainframe. Bassline created a beat-heavy code pulse that would punch through even the strongest interference. Nova stood behind Creamy, hand on his shoulder. You ready? No, he said, but I'm willing. The broadcast went live that night. Every screen in the city, every tablet, hoverboard, storefront, holopanel flickered to life with one signal. And the child's voice. They called me Project C1. They said I was broken. Then images, files, faces, documents, unfolding the ugly truth. But I'm not broken. I'm not a mistake. I'm not a monster. My name is Creamy, and I'm done being quiet. The signal hit like a tidal wave. Across the city, people paused and for once listened. Parents held their kids tighter. Scientists stared in horror. And in the towers of the developers who created the C-Series, Creamy and the Sprunki crew fled the vault before retaliation hit. They had no time to rest because it didn't take long. A black shuttle descended near the ridge where they first met. From it stepped someone new. No armor, no mask. Just a tall, sharp-eyed woman with a clipboard and a venomous smile. I'm Director Vale, she said coolly, and I'm here to shut you down. Creamy stepped forward. You're the one who ordered the sale, aren't you? I'm the one who kept the city from being overrun by failed prototypes like you, she snapped. But clearly containment is no longer an option. She raised her hand. The ground split, and out came C7, a hybrid Sprunki with fractured eyes and mechanical limbs. He's what you should have been, Vale said. Obedient. The final battle began. C7 launched. Baslin hit him with a rhythm bomb. Glint trapped him in a flash net, but he adapted, learned their moves in seconds. He was fast, ruthless, precise. Creamy stepped in. Back off, he growled. He's mine. They clashed like lightning meeting metal. Creamy fought not to destroy, but to reach. You don't have to follow her, he shouted between blows. You can choose. But C7 didn't speak, only roared painfully, mechanically, like a creature trapped itself. Creamy powered up, then paused. He saw it. Behind the fury, behind the orders, fear. Stop, he whispered. He dropped his hands. C7 hesitated. Vale screamed, "Finish him!" But C7 looked between her and Creamy and dropped to his knees. The sky shimmered, and for the first time, C7 spoke. "I remember the color blue." Vela Curson reached for a detonator, but Nova was faster, tackling her from behind and slamming the controller to pieces. "We're not your lab rats anymore." The silence afterward was sacred, not because it was over, but because something had changed. Creamy helped C7 to his feet. "You have a name?" C7 blinked and not yet. Creamy smiled. "Then we'll help you find one." The city didn't fall silent after the broadcast. It woke up. Every corner buzzed with voices, questions, truth unraveling from the cracks that Creamy had blasted wide open. The experiments, the silenced children, the prototype who chose love over power. Sprunki Creamy's name was no longer a code name. It was a movement. In the days that followed, Creamy and the crew helped take C7, now going by Jet, to a safe zone. His systems were corrupted, yes, but not beyond hope. Nova worked tirelessly to stabilize his mind, while Glint fed him corny jokes and smoothies. "I don't understand humor," Jet said flatly. "You will," Creamy replied with a smile, "or at least pretend to, like the rest of us." Baseline and Flicker organized watchtowers across the outskirts, preparing for retaliation, but it never came. Director Vale vanished, her towers dark, her funding stripped by an avalanche of public outrage. She was gone, and the silence she left behind was healing. One evening, Creamy returned to the rooftop where it all started. That night he ran. The lights of the city twinkled like they were winking at him now, not judge him. Nova joined him, carrying a speaker that gently hummed with a melody Creamy didn't know. "What's that?" he asked. She smiled. "Something you helped us all write." It was soft, defiant, on a song that didn't need perfection, just truth. "I'm scared," Creamy admitted. Nova didn't flinch. "Good, means you still care. I thought finding answers would make me feel whole." She looked out across the skyline. "And it didn't," he said. "But building this, building us, that's what made me real." A wind picked up behind them. The others arrived. Jet, Glint, Bassline, Flicker. No armor, no agenda. Just friends, family. Creamy stood. "Everyone said I was abandoned, but they were wrong." He looked around. "I was found." They all smiled. Flicker tossed him a glowing badge, a Sprunki symbol, redesigned by them all. "You earned it, Chief," she said. Baseline chuckled. "You're officially weird enough now." They raised their hands together, palms crackling with light, music, energy. The city below felt it. The rhythm, the rebirth. In that moment, Creamy wasn't the prototype. He wasn't the rejected file, the broken kid, the name on a report. He was a Sprunki, leader, a protector, brother, and above all, a survivor who turned pain into power. From then on, when someone felt like they didn't belong, they followed the beat, and they found the camp, and Creamy would greet them with 4 words. "You're not alone anymore." The night felt heavier than usual. Creamy sat alone on the edge of the old scaffolding tower, knees pulled to chest, eyes fixed on the blinking city lights in the distance. Somewhere below, a jazz beat thudded out from a cracked speaker, but it couldn't touch him. Not tonight. His hoodie was torn, his shoes were soaked. His heart felt like it had been left out in the rain for years. "I didn't ask for this," he muttered. The wind didn't answer. Just hours earlier, Creamy had overheard something he wasn't meant to hear. "Tonight, we get rid of him, no more mistakes." His mother's voice. Then his father's, lower, conflicted. "He's not just some kid, he's got potential." "That's what they want, isn't it?" she snapped. "That's why they'll pay." Creamy hadn't moved, hadn't breathed. He stood there, behind the stairwell, listening to his future vanish in real time. They hadn't known what he could do. Not fully. Creamy had always hidden the sparks, the way his hands glowed when he got scared, the way his shadow flickered faster than his body. He thought keeping it secret would keep him safe. He was wrong. That night, as they sat him down for dinner, his ma's voice was too sweet. His dad wouldn't look him in the eyes. "Creamy, sweetheart," she cooed. We just need to step out for a bit, okay? Where are we going? He asked, voice dry. Nowhere you need to worry about, she smiled. Just wait here. But he didn't wait. He followed. And when he saw the deal go down, his parents speaking to a man in a black coat, holding a glowing case of credits and whispering about power containment and clean disposal, something inside, creamy, broke. He ran, feet slapping the alley stones, eyes burning. He didn't stop until his legs gave out under a broken billboard on the city's edge. Now here he sat, heart hollow, fingers twitching with unstable light. I should disappear, he whispered. The wind stirred again. This time it answered, not with words, but with a sound, laughter, low, echoing. From below, Creamy leaned over the scaffolding and saw them. A group of something, not human, not fully. Glowing eyes, strange shapes. One had vines for hair. Another hovered slightly above the ground. They weren't afraid of each other. They were laughing. Creamy hesitated, then climbed down. He didn't speak as he approached, but they noticed him. The laughter stopped. One step forward, a tall figure with flowing silver bands and a visor that blinked like a pulse. Hey, the figure said gently, you look lost. Creamy said nothing. You've got the glow, another said, pointing to his hands. Creamy hit him. No need, a third voice chimed in, small and chipper. We've all got something weird. Here, weird is normal. That broke something in Creamy. He laughed, a short, awkward, painful thing, and just like that, they welcomed him in. Later that night, he sat beside the fire pit they'd built from busted lights and broken speaker cones. They introduced themselves, Flicker, Bassline, Nova, Glint, runaways, misfits, sprunkas, just like him. You got kicked out too? Flicker asked. Creamy hesitated, then nodded. Nova threw an arm around him. Then welcome home. He didn't know how long he stayed there, curled under the soft hum of neon light, but when he woke, he wasn't the same. His powers had stabilized slightly. His pulse didn't race when he charged his palms. And in the corner of the camp, Nova was tinkering with something that looked like a speaker merged with a shield. Built it from junk, she grinned. You'll need it. We always do. But danger wasn't far because someone had tracked the failed exchange. And they weren't happy the asset had gone rogue. The sky turned amber as dawn stretched over the city. Creamy had slept lightly, body sore but soul heavier. He wasn't used to being cared for, not like this, not without conditions. Nova handed him a warmed-up energy bar. Eat, you're gonna need it. And he took it without a word. Baseline was already mapping something on a holograph made from glass shards and pulsing wire. The drones are back, he muttered. C-class. They're searching Grid Zone 3A. Glint groaned. They don't give up easy. Who'd you tick off, kid? Creamy swallowed hard. My parents sold me out. Silence. Nova's eyes softened. We've all been betrayed. Some of us by the world, some of us by blood. Flicker added, and yet, here we are, still choosing not to burn everything down. Creamy didn't reply, but inside him, something cracked. For the first time in his life, he wasn't the only one trying to hold himself together with nothing but instinct. He'd had people, even if they were weird. That afternoon, the warning came fast. Eyes up, Flicker shouted. A sound like glass slicing wind cut across the field. A surveillance drone descended, scanning rapidly, but instead of scattering, the Sprunkies stood their ground. Nova activated a magnetic barrier. They're not just watching this time. Baseline launched a bass pulse blast one that shattered the nearest lens. Creamy, Nova yelled. You're up. Creamy blinked. Me? You've got more voltage than any of us. Time to stop hiding it. He looked at the drone, then at his hands. Then he felt it. The same spark that used to scare him now begged to be unleashed. He ran forward, slid beneath a second drone, and threw both hands upward. Electricity exploded in a spiraling helix, frying the circuitry. The drone dropped like a rock. Everyone stared. Creamy blinked. Whoa! Baseline grinned. Kid's got juice. But the victory was short-lived. Glenn's voice trembled. We've got company, big company. Down the street, a transport vehicle rolled in, wheels glowing red. And stepping out was Black, a dark-suited enforcer with a metallic half mask and a voice like static. Creamy, he said calmly, it's time to come with me. Creamy froze. That's the one who met your parents, Nova growled. They tried to trade you to him? Creamy stepped forward, trembling. What do you want from me? Your potential, Black said. You were designed, Creamy, built for something far beyond friendship, campfires, and childish rebellion. I'm not yours, Creamy spat. Black's eyes flickered. You're not even theirs. You were abandoned by design. No one wanted you, but I see purpose. Nova moved between him. He's not going anywhere. Black looked amused. You're protecting a glitch. Cute. Then the street shattered. The fight began. Creamy's adrenaline surged. Nova's tech shield deflected the first energy strike. Bassline dropped a sonic wave, buying time. Glint spun a chain of sparks that tangled Black's boot for a second, but a second wasn't enough. Black advanced, swatting aside attacks like flies. Enough games, he hissed, grabbing Creamy by the collar. Creamy screamed and detonated. A pulse of pure light erupted from him, throwing Black across the street and slamming him into a wall. Dust settled. Creamy stood, hands smoking, chest heaving. I'm not your weapon, he whispered. I'm not their shame. Nova lamped over. You good? He nodded slowly. No, but I will be. The crew regrouped, but the message was clear. This wasn't over. Not even close. That night, Creamy sat by the fire again. Nova tossed him a small device. What's this? He asked. A memory chip, she said, salvaged from Black's drone before it fried. We might finally know why he wants you so badly. Creamy looked at it. I'm scared, he admitted. We all are, Bishline said, but scared doesn't mean powerless. Creamy closed his fist around the chip, then stared into the fire, flame reflected in his silver eyes. I'm going to find the truth, he said, and I'm going to burn down every lie they built around me. The next morning broke slow and gray. Clouds crawled over the skyline like heavy thoughts, the kind that stayed even when the sun tried to burn through. Creamy stood alone outside the Sprunki camp, memory chip clutched tight in his palm. Nova walked up, quiet. You don't have to watch it yet, she said. I do, he replied. I need to see how far the lie goes. Nova nodded, then tapped her wristband. A small hollow projector shimmered into the air, glowing blue. The chip slid into the slot and the memory file unlocked. Creamy watched as a distorted video played. His mother sat in a lap, voice low, eyes cold. Subject C4, codename Creamy, stable, emotionally volatile, rejected for full assimilation, recommend disposal or transfer to external buyer. His father stood behind her, arms crossed but silent. Power signature exceeds containment parameters, she continued. No familial bonding possible, program terminated. The screen glitched. Creamy stepped back. His breath caught in his throat like broken glass. They called me a program. Noble turned off the projection. That wasn't about you. That was about who they were. Creamy's eyes glowed, faintly unstable. I wasn't a son. I was a project. You're more than that now, Bassline said, joining them. You've made yourself real with us. But Creamy shook his head. I need answers, not just fragments. If they built me, who else is out there like me? Silence. Then Flicker spoke. There's one place they'd keep data like that. The vault, Glenn added. Buried under Sector 7G, old research black site. Locked down since the Sprunki network war. No one gets in, Bassline muttered. Greeny's eyes narrowed. Then let's be the first. That night they moved. Nova rigged the access points. Bassline created an audio loop to fool perimeter drones. Flicker guided them through abandoned subway tracks, laced with broken holograms and graffiti of long-forgotten faces. As they neared the vault, Glint froze. There's movement up top. They peeked over the ridge. Black waited with a new figure beside him. Slender, dressed in white mask, smooth as glass, no mouth, only two glowing dots for eyes. The silencer, Nova whispered. They only send him when they want someone erased. Without sound, without trace. Bassline whispered, change of plan? Creamy shook his head. No, we go through them. The battle came like thunder. Glint dropped a flash bomb that cracked the shadows. Bassline surged a bass quake that rattled the dirt. Flicker sprinted between enemies, a blur of trickery, but it was Creamy who shined brightest. He flew across the battlefield like lightning personified. Sparks in his wake, fists charged with blue flame, he confronted Black head-on, eyes glowing with fury and focus. "You don't get to own me." "I already do," Black hissed, swinging a gravity baton. But Creamy dodged, then countered, slamming both hands into the ground. A pulse burst from beneath the soil, lifting Black off his feet. Then came the silencer,